everybody, it's Wilbits. We're playing Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice, Case 2, Part 2. Something happened to Trucy. Ah! Trucy! Trucy! You move quick, Apollo. Good show, good show. Trucy, you're okay. I thought... Jeez. Don't cry, Apollo. Those good-for-nothing gangsters. There's some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges. Wait, just calm down, Apollo. Or else... What the heck is that? You were... What? Surprised? This is one of my best tricks, the amazing Mr. Hat. You look marvelous, darling. He's a big hit on stage at the Wonder Bar. I did way too deep of a voice for this guy. Yes, I'm a big hit. Ha ha ha. I'm a big hit. Well, what do you think? Do you like it? You mean you, Trucy? There's some things you just don't do! I'm pressing charges against you, Trucy! I'm pressing charges! I beat to the joke. Apollo, now is not the time to be threatening me. It's you who's being threatened here. Huh? Remember what you said to Aki's father yesterday? You promised you'd save his son. But that testimony was rock solid. What are you suggesting I do? Look, once the judge declares a verdict, it's all over. If I can use my talent to stop that from happening, I will. Trucy, no more stage abductions, please. I'm not talking about magic, Apollo. I know when the witness isn't confident. I can perceive what he's feeling. It might not mean anything, but it's all we've got. You can see what he's feeling? Think back, Apollo. Think back to the times when there was a contradiction in his testimony. All the times. All the times there was a contradiction? I remember. I do remember! Well, I think I remember them, sure. There were 2 times when he made statements he wasn't confident in, and each time there was a contradiction. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. He said the man tossed aside a pistol, but it turned out he wasn't sure, and sure enough, there was a contradiction. Well, that's true, but how does that help us? Didn't you notice anything? Whenever he made a statement he wasn't confident in, he displayed a certain habit. His hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. Did you see it? The very moment he said the word pistol, his fingers got all tense, and he fiddled with the corner of a page in his book. How am I supposed to see that? Well, I can see it. How else do you think Daddy went 7 years without losing a game of poker? What? Trucy, were you cheating for him? I always sit next to Daddy during big matches. I could see what his opponents were feeling. You mean that's how Mr. Wright won all those games? It's not cheating officially. I wasn't looking at their hands or anything. And I wasn't there all the time either. Daddy's quite good at poker after all, but not good enough to go undefeated that long. Great, so he cheated. But what does that do for us? I don't believe this. You have to listen to his testimony one more time. No, scratch that. You have to watch his testimony. Perceive the truth. Watch a testimony? Perceive the truth? The only thing I'm perceiving is that I'm going to lose. Not true. Daddy said so. He said you have the power, Apollo. He said you had the touch. Mr. Wright said that? Watch the testimony. Perceive his true feelings. Is she serious? Time's up. Sorry, I can't think of another way out of this one, Apollo. What was that she said before the trial started? Huh, Mr. Wright's not here today? He said his own foot injury was acting up. Yes, he smiled when he said we'd be fine, as long as you're there, Trucy.
Is this what he meant by us being fine? Well, I'm at to decide. She did avoid one guilty verdict already today. Time to show this court what I'm made of. Get ready for justice! Let's do it!
Apollo!
You know, I'm starting to think I can do this.
I knew you could do it all along. Oh, one more thing.
Huh?
Try to cover for Mr. Hat as best you can.
I just flew in from the coast and boy are my arms tired!
Right. Ugh. Okay! So Trucy's a big fat fibber, and if they just let us do the perceived mechanic from the beginning, we wouldn't have needed that whole thing. But fine.
Court is now back in session.
Right, we're fine.
I'd like to say that to the young lady standing next to you, Mr. Justice.
Oh, you mean me?
Don't you have anything to report? Anything concerning the mysterious phantom in the silk top hat, the one that looks very much like the one you're wearing right now?
Oh, right, him. Don't worry about him. I settled that.
You settled that?
Yeah, it was an out-of-court settlement. Right, I gave him a bunch of money, and it was fine.
Perhaps Fraulein would have us believe it was nothing more than a passing dream. A fantastic illusion. Now you see it, now you don't. Am I right?
I know I'm right. I'm right. Yeah, it's true.
I think he's onto me.
I wish he would stop being so cool. I wish I didn't love him. But I do.
Let us dispense with these niceties and get straight to the matter. What are your plans for our gifted witness?
Right. The defense would like to request another cross-examination. Because I forgot to ask something.
There was no issue with the witness's previous testimony. I will grant your request, however, but this court will not permit stalling for time. Like, for example, if you sit there staring at a screen, trying to find a moment of perception, that'll be very annoying. Don't do it.
Understood, Your Honor.
Don't forget, Apollo. When he isn't sure about something, he has a habit of fiddling with his book.
Looks like he's not sure about this.
I cannot prevent the killer from leaving the scene, true. Nor can I simply leave the scene in good conscience.
Sure.
Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police.
You didn't. Wait. I didn't go too far. I'm not sure if I'm qualified to watch testimonies after all.
Focus, Apollo. Find his weak spot.
Okay. Focus. If only it were that easy. My ears hear what he says. My eyes see his expression. Do I have to do something more? What other senses do I have? Oh, use your... I didn't have the option anyway. What's this? My bracelet. What's going on? My bracelet feels different somehow.
I think Daddy was right. You can see it, can't you, Apollo? You're almost there. Find the weak spot in his testimony.
I know this sounds crazy. My bracelet's trying to tell me something. I think that is his cell phone, and he didn't actually call him because he didn't have the police because he didn't have his cell phone at the time. He had dropped it because he's actually been the one stealing panties this whole time. This guy's a panty stealer. Look at this guy. This guy does unsavory things with women's garments. Because that's the closest he can get. Let's press that. So you called immediately after witnessing the murder?
The police undoubtedly have a record of the call. Why not check with them? Wait, Apollo! This has to be it!
Wait, you mean his habit?
Don't forget, Apollo. When he isn't sure about something, he has a habit of fiddling with his book.
The only time he even had the book open was here. Which means this is the place to look for his habit. I don't know how I know, but I know.
Know what?
It's my bracelet. It's different somehow. I can feel it reacting to something about the witness. Yeah, something's reacting to the witness.
Your bracelet!
Oh, and it's down here now! Right here! Finally. I'm not sure I get this focus stuff you were talking about, Trucy. But I have a feeling that trusting my bracelet is the way to go. Okay, I just need to touch my bracelet as it reacts to the testimony. What's going on? I can see the witness's face, his expression so clearly. It's filling my mind. I can see nothing else. Hear nothing else.
Apollo?
Trucy, what's happening to me? Ah!
This is what I meant by focusing.
Focusing.
In this state, you can see everything, Apollo. Everything the witness does. Everything he's ever done. What he's going to do when he goes back to his dorm room. I am so sorry.
That's great, but this is kind of freaking me out.
Just look at Mr. Stickler's twitch, his habit. You remember it, right?
Sure, when he says something he's not sure of, he fiddles with a page of his book.
You got it right. Now you're looking at the witness's face.
And your eyes are
sort of bugging out.
I'll bet they are.
First, move your focus of attention down to Mr. Stickler's hand.
His hand?
You know what to look for now, but you have to be looking at the right place.
She's right. I can only see his face like this. Time to try changing my viewpoint. Down, down, down. To right here. Yeah, this is a bit of a clumsy mechanic.
Perfect. Now you're really ready.
Ready for what?
Ready to perceive the truth behind the twitch.
This is a really belabored explanation. Perceive.
Try listening to the witness talk as you focus. Then watch for his habit.
Right. You mean when he fiddles with the page?
That's right. That's your signal to look closer, to perceive. Find his weak spot, and I guarantee we'll be able to give him the royal flush.
Spoken like a true pokerhead's daughter.
I'm a magician, thank you very much. I do my own cards.
So I have to pay attention to his words and his fingers.
Don't worry if you miss it. You can always try again.
Right. Look out, nervous twitch. Here comes justice. Ergo, I used my cell phone. You did not. You did not use your cell phone. Because you didn't have your cell phone. You called with something else. I saw it. Just now. I could see it.
Mr. Justice, do you have something to say?
Oh, this begging of disc is quite bad for my circulation, you know. Ooh.
Mr. Stickler, allow me to ask you a simple question. Why did you fiddle with the page of your book just now? The very moment you mentioned your cell phone.
What are you talking about?
I'm curious now about this cell phone of yours. Mind if I ask a few questions? What to ask? What to ask? Can I see your phone? I don't think he has his phone. I think his phone is missing. Mr. Stickler, please show me your cell phone.
What? Whatever for?
Show me and you'll find out.
Well, I can't. I don't have it, you see.
You don't have it?
Mr. Stickler, is this your cell phone?
Yeah. Where did you get that?
I knew it!
That's the phone from yesterday.
Look, a cell phone.
Someone dropped it beneath this tire. If the car moved, it would be crushed for sure.
Huh. I wonder if it belongs to the doctor here. How strange, Mr. Stickler.
Ooh.
We know why you were in the park. Can you explain why your cell phone is sitting here in my hand at this very moment?
Wait a minute. What is the meaning of this?
Did we use magic? Did I pick it from your pocket? And did Trucy just hand it to me? Oh, we got magician lawyers. The cell phone was found yesterday in the Maractus Clinic garage.
The Maractus? Why, that's where the victim lived.
That's impossible.
Mr. Stickler.
Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court, didn't you? If your cell phone is here, how could you have called the police?
It's true. I didn't have my cell phone that night. That is why it can be said that I called the police from a public payphone.
A payphone? So you didn't call on your cell phone after all?
Just where was this payphone located, Mr. Stickler?
Well, to indicate it with a startlingly high degree of accuracy, it was right around here.
Outside of the park?
That's quite a ways from the park. But why did you lie?
There can be only one reason. He didn't want the court to know he had lost his cell phone. Because it was found in the victim's garage.
What are you saying?
I don't think this guy did it. He did something else naughty, but it wasn't murder. Mr. Stickler, you broke into the practice clinic garage on the night of the murder. This cell phone tells all.
But that's ridiculous. That makes it sound like I snuck into this fellow's garage to commit some crime. As though I were trying to kill him.
Well, Dr. Maractus was killed that night.
Well, yes, but no, this line of reasoning has to be against the rules. Yes, it's true, I lost my cell phone, but you can't prove that I lost it that night.
Well, Mr. Justice, if that cell phone was dropped the night of the murder, it does raise considerable suspicions as to a connection with the crime.
No, it was under the car. If it had been on there more than one night, it would have been crushed by the car, and it wasn't.
Now's your chance, Apollo. Connect Mr. Stickler to the crime.
Oh, he's already connected enough. I just have to prove it. Well, do I have a piece of evidence that can do the job? Can I prove the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder? Yes. Wait, can I do it with evidence? I think we just show the phone. Of course I have evidence. Ooh, I like your swagger, hair forehead. Hit it.
The court will see this evidence, Mr. Justice. Hit it, as they say.
The evidence that proves the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder is where you found the cell phone. Yeah, I agree.
Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
No comment, Herr Judge.
No thanks, Mr. Justice. Penalty.
What?
Apollo, remember where we found that cell phone? If it had fallen on the ground before that night.
That's right. The cell phone would have been crushed. But how do I... Your Honor, one more chance, please.
Mr. Justice, keep this up and you'll run yourself out of a life's worth of chances.
The evidence that proves the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder is... Oh, is the mirror. I think it's the broken mirror, because we know what night it last drove.
That's a side view mirror?
Yeah, it's the other part of the car. As it so happens, Dr. Maractus' car was in an accident. That took place the night of the murder.
An accident?
An accident. It happened a little after 9 p.m. just outside People Park, our murder scene. Dr. Maractus' car hit a pedestrian.
What are you trying to say?
From the absence of a mirror, it's clear that the car was parked after the accident, which means it was parked there after 9 p.m. on the night of the murder. If your cell phone had been dropped before the car was parked in that garage, then it would have been crushed. After all, it was lying on the ground, right under the wheel. Ergo, Mr. Stickler, the only time you could have dropped this in that garage was after 9 p.m. the night of the murder in the park. Mr. Stickler, you know what this means? You did break into the victim's garage that night.
This is most unexpected, Mr. Justice. Are you naming the witness as a suspect in the murder of Pal Maractus?
No, stop. This is too much. This can't be happening. Prosecutor, say something.
I suppose it is worth saying this. No connection has been found between Wesley Stickler and Pal Maractus. That is other than this.
I believe our next testimony will be the most revelatory. Is the witness prepared?
Yes, Your Honor.
I know that face. That's the face of guilt. Trucy, don't turn into Mr. Hat. Stickler's truth.
That night, yes, I went to the supermarket. I must have dropped my cell phone on my way back. And when I was walking through the park, I happened to witness the crime. I saw the killer, the victim, the stand, all was clear as day. It was him. I saw the defendant at the scene.
Yes, but your cell phone was lying in a garage.
Yes, well, as you can see, my model of cell phone has a defect. It is given to rolling. It is quite a pain when I drop it alongside the road, you know.
Looks like a normal cell phone to me. In any case, Mr. Justice, the cross-examination, please.
That's funny. My bracelet didn't react at all during that testimony.
His nervous habit must not be acting up. I didn't sense anything either, actually. Looks like you're on your own this time around.
Right, no problem. I hope. Here comes justice. Oh, malpractice. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Palmaractus is malpractice. Dr. Puns. That night, yes, I went to the supermarket. Press. So you went shopping, which means you were holding a grocery bag when you witnessed the murder taking place? Oh, he went shopping, but it wasn't for food.
Well, yes, of course.
Instantly, the prosecution has received no report of this domestic detail.
Mr. Stickler, can you explain yourself?
No, I mean, yes, I did go shopping, really. Yes, I was looking for something that, yes, I walked around the supermarket trying out the free sample.
Oh, yeah, there was some free samples, alright.
It's a deeply spiritual time for me.
I'm sure the store clerks would disagree.
Do you think sampling free foods counts as a religion? Because I'd like to sign up. In any case, that night, I sampled to my heart's content and was on my way back home, yes. I must have dropped my cell phone on my way back.
That's when you passed in front of the Maractus Clinic?
Why, yes, that's correct.
There's a pretty suspicious pause there. It was. I thought the game had frozen. I was like, oh no, it broke. But instead he's breaking. Mr. Stickler, do you think you could be a bit more specific? Please show us the exact route you took on the night of the murder. I'm going to be a stickler too.
Oh, of course. Yes. The supermarket is here, along the main road. My way home from there takes me past the Maractus Clinic.
And the Eldoon's Noodle shop.
This is probably when I dropped my cell phone. Yet, woe is I walked on, unaware of my loss. And walked right into that fateful park. And when I was walking through the park, I happened to witness the crime.
Which entrance did you enter the park from?
Well, to be exact, one might say I went in from the entrance closest to the Maractus Clinic.
The same entrance our victim used. Do you notice anything when you entered? Wheel marks from a noodle stand, for instance?
I have no recollection of such a thing, no. Yet, though I might have missed the tracks, I could not miss what happened next. I am a keen observer of the obvious, you might say. I saw the killer, the victim, the stand, all clear as day.
This part of the testimony is the key. I know it. Should I press him about the killer, the victim, or the noodle stand? I think we press him about the noodle stand, because that's what we need some more information on, i.e., why did the doctor have a noodle stand? Doesn't make sense. Do you happen to remember the noodle stand?
Quite well, yes. For a student of the sciences, keen observation and healthy curiosity are vital. I remember everything. I could even read the sign. I believe it said, Noodle. Yes, that was it.
For remembering something quite well, it sure took you a while to tell us. And thank you for telling us that a noodle stand sells noodles. Very enlightening.
But it doesn't say noodle, it says noodle backwards. It says El Dune.
Well, Mr. Justice.
What about that sign? Could that be important?
It's very important. It's gonna blow the whole case wide open.
So the sign on the noodle stand said Noodle? Like the character from Gorillaz? It appears the defense has just obtained a vital piece of testimony.
Is the noodle stand's broth really that delicious? Because I'm a little hungry. I could use some noodles. I'll have to go sample the wares one of these days. Maybe right now, after I declare your client guilty. I think that's worth adding to the testimony as well.
Whatever sort of noodles that stand sells, it can't match up to IVU's cafeteria. They have noodles that are really tasty and they make you smarter. Some apply to the school merely for a taste of our smart noodles.
I wouldn't mind a taste of that myself. You remember the time when the victim said noodle? Let's press it first before we stick it in his face. So the sign said noodle. Are you absolutely sure?
Let me be frank. Yes. In fact, the word unsure isn't even in my dictionary, nor the word uncertain.
Or, alright, we get it. He was wasting time looking up the words unsure and uncertain.
Noodle, eh? I like that. It tells you what you're getting. No nonsense.
It tells me a lot more than that, actually.
Why are you smiling like that, Apollo?
You don't know, Trucy? You don't know? I'm gonna press this one just because it's new information, even though we already know what can nail him to the wall. Are you absolutely sure?
Stop asking me the same questions over and over. This isn't some kind of makeup test. What's a makeup test, Apollo?
Nothing a good student like you has to worry about. Time to find his weak spot and press it till he breaks. His habit isn't acting up, which means he isn't lying. I was kind of relying on my bracelet to get me through this one. So he wasn't lying, which means he does think it said noodle, which means he saw it through a mirror.
But he's pretty unsettled. The odds are really high that you can get something out of him.
The gleam in your eyes. You're a gambler's daughter, through and through.
I'm a magician, thank you very much.
We're gonna present the noodle stand because it does not say noodle. It very clearly says Eldune. And you're absolutely sure the sign read noodle?
Why, just last week my professor offered me this praise. At least you have good eyesight, Stickler. I'll give you that.
That is not a compliment. Sorry.
It read, without a doubt, noodle.
I see.
What? Why are you looking at me like that? Is that pity I see in your eyes?
Let's take a look at our map, shall we? So, you're claiming that when you saw the sign, you were standing here, was it? Although it would have been a bit hard to read the sign from this spot.
You think so?
Mr. Stickler, I'd like you to please take another look at the stand and to carefully read what the sign says. See, The sign actually states the name of the stand's owner. Eldunes.
Inconceivable! It's certainly
Inconceivable. We are getting our references to the Princess Bride.
I'm certain it was definitely Noodle for sure. Positive.
I'm afraid your professor was wrong about that eyesight.
I wouldn't be so quick to jump to that conclusion. The sign he saw changes everything. The witness says the sign said Noodle. But he saw it wrong. No, and he saw it right. He saw it right, but through a mirror. What would you say if I told you that there is one spot from which the sign would be read the way Mr. Stickler claims?
What? Who?
Mr. Justice, show us this spot. Show me. Point it out.
The witness actually viewed the stand from this location. I suspect he was by the trash can. So, alright, I'm just gonna say over here. The witness was standing here, on the opposite side. Okay, I'm just overthinking it. I was like, trying to hide in like a really specific place.
How do you know that?
When viewed from the south, the sign on the stand reads Eldunes. However, oh, it does say Noodle on the other side. I did get lucky.
Oh, this sign says Noodle.
Exactly. The name of the stand is split between the front and back signs. Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court. You witnessed the crime from the northern side of the park, not the south.
Yo, you got me.
So what? So what? What does it matter if he saw the killing from the north or the south side? It makes no difference at all.
He's right. Travel far enough to the south and you will end up going...
Shut up. No.
You know global scale directions are utterly without meaning.
Actually, maybe he's right. What does it change? It changes the bullet, because he looked over here, but if he looked this way, then he had to have been shot from inside the cart. So that doesn't make sense, unless there was someone in the cart. Trucy?
Remember his testimony from before? Though, to be honest, I'm a little scared of where this is leading.